What is up, everybody? Yes, new and improved. This is, even though it says sweep the league now, it is not sweep the league. We have a new show. It's the same show, but new name, I guess you could say. It is actually called Varsity Sports because it was too, people following us at home was too, it's too, what's the word I'm looking for? Hard to follow because we have Sweep the League radio and doing a podcast. It was just too hard. So now we're doing Varsity Sports for this show. Thank y'all for joining. And we have a big announcement as well. We have joined the ASAP network. I've come back home, I guess you can say. I've been part of this ASAP. That's where I got my startup. That's where I met Jonathan. And man, we're excited to be here, especially with all the other people from San Antonio area coming in, bringing in all the content to ASAP. ASAP's doing amazing things. Make sure you go like and follow that button because a lot of good things are coming, man. We got an all-girls show that is rocking 2 weeks in. Views are off the charts. That is going great. Other shows, I forgot. You have too many shows. I can't name them all, Jonathan. Jonathan's on Speak.
Just say the truth.
Just say the truth. I started that one with you, I think. I started that one with you. We didn't all the same down.
Yeah.
But there's going to be other shows. I'm in talks with someone else on that network that might be bringing another show back. Well, I got to get the final details on that. But anyway, this is called Varsity Sports, where we're going to talk everything from football, basketball, MLB, NHL maybe, whatever. But first, let me introduce the guys to you. I don't know where Coach Gio is because Coach Gio is always late. He's a prima donna. I thought he'd be on cloud nine. He's on Georgia Bulldogs winning the national championship. LA Rams move on. He's just on cloud nine. I don't know why he's here. But anyway, first off, I want to welcome Jonathan Mathis, my brother. He's a new guy to this show. He's going to be joining us whenever he can. Every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. That's 5 o'clock his time. So I do appreciate your coming home and getting right on the computer and joining us. How's it going, Jonathan?
It's going well, fellas. How you guys doing? I'm glad to be a part of this. It looks like it's a great show, and thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure. I'm doing well. I'm hanging in there. I enjoy talking sports, and again, I can't be more flattered to be a part of this.
Well, man, we're happy to have you on, man. And of course, Will from Ohio, who had 24 or 5 feet of snow apparently last week. His fire hydrant still missing, I think. How you doing in the snowy confines of Ohio, Will?
I'm doing great today. Yesterday was a workout. Let's put it that way. A couple hours worth of shoveling the driveway and shoveling it later. We're just here waiting on Joe Burrow to come to Cleveland, as our local networks like to talk about.
Man, well, y'all do not. Who's Joe Burrow? I mean, good God, man. I'm like, explain a little bit to the listeners what you're talking about because they might not understand.
There's a local radio station, sports talk radio station I follow on Twitter now, and they're talking about how Baker Mayfield, Cleveland was hoping Baker Mayfield was what Joe Burrow is to Cincinnati. I don't know who Joe Burrow is. I mean, this is on their official Twitter. Like, I'm confused. Like, I'm new to Twitter. We all know this. I used to get heckled for not having Twitter. I have Twitter. You got to understand, if this is your official Twitter site, come on, spell check, do something. Like, I don't know who Joe Burrow is. I tweeted back. I mean, are you talking Joe Burrow? I mean, who's Joe Burrow? I don't think they've hit me back yet. I haven't checked today, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you have you gotta make sure you pronounce the name right.
I mean, I googled it. I'm like, Joe, that's not how he spells it. I even had to second guess myself. Like, he's been all over the news. Like, I know how to spell his name right.
Pronunciation is key. Gotta make sure you pronounce it right. If you don't, it looks bad.
Just one thing after another in here in Ohio. Browns fans are disappointed in whatever reason. Cincinnati fans are riding high. I mean, this state's going crazy right now.
Cincinnati fans by now are elated. After last weekend's game.
It sounds like the Browns. Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl.
Oh, they're in depths of despair. That's a difference. It's a huge difference.
Dude, I like that, but we're gonna get into that a little bit later. For sure. Actually, we'll probably get into it here in a minute if I can find something. There we go. All right. You can also follow us on Twitter. You can find Rudy at Sweep the League. You can find Coach Gio at Coach Gio with 2 O's, not 1 O. We still haven't got that other Coach Gio knocked off Twitter because he has no followers. I don't know why he hasn't. Gio has not enforced that guy to get fired from Twitter, but that's Coach Gio with 2 O's, not 1. You can follow myself at Trey3025. Austin Hartsfield. I don't know if he's ever going to be on the show again, but if you want all MLB contact, go to Hartsfield MLB. And also you can follow the new guy who does not like Twitter, apparently, Will Nation 7. That's where you can find him. And I don't think Jonathan Mathis does Twitter.
I don't do Twitter that much, but I have one. Sports Judge 85.
There we go. We'll get that in there. Why do you not like Twitter, man? That's where you get everything. That's where you get the fights. That's where you get everything.
That's true.
Everything.
That's true. You do get everything. It's a lot of great commentary there, but I don't know. I think I'm more in love with Facebook. I have a great relationship with Facebook and Instagram.
Man, I have a love-hate relationship with we're in a complicated relationship, me and Facebook. I cannot stand Facebook a lot of times. Twitter's where it's at, man. I just like Twitter. I have like 7. I'm into Kevin Durant. I have like 8 burn accounts. But anyway.
There we go. My man.
Hey, man, when you make it big, you got to make it big, and you got to, hate on your followers, So anyway, as these guys were saying, Cincinnati Bengals are riding very high right now because they won their first playoff game in over 30 years, but it wasn't without controversy. That inadvertent whistle that should have never happened gave them the 7 points, and the Bengals win by 7, but we'll get into that a little bit later. We also had, and then we had blowouts and crappy. Then we're going to get in a little bit too. I want y'all's opinion on this about adding the extra team, but we also had the Buffalo Bills, who looked like a Super Bowl contender against the New England Patriots, a record-setting 7 straight touchdown drives. In fact, the only time they didn't score a touchdown is when they took a knee at the end of the game. That's remarkable. And then you had the Cowboys sucking it up. I'm going to say my rant a little bit later on that one. That was the second. That was those 2 games right there. Cincinnati Raiders and the Cowboys 49ers were only 2 games. Eagles shouldn't have been in the playoffs. They showed why. Tampa Bay made light work of them, even though the score was close to what the extras. But Tom Brady did his thing without wide receivers. And then Arizona Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury should be fired for the way he had that team is horrible. Kyle Murray is not a good quarterback. I'm going to get into that a little bit later as well. I don't think he should. I think he should go to MLB, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But I want to go to Jonathan Mathis first. What is your takeaway from Wild Card Weekend, my friend? Who's a team that surprised you, and who is a team that you think can make a serious run now we're going to divisional rounds?
Well, first I'm going to go with the team that I think could make a serious run after I watched the game last night.
Oh, of course.
And Trey, this is not me being biased. I know the Rams are here in my backyard, but hey, the Rams have pieced together an incredible performance yesterday. Matthew Stafford looked, good in big moments yesterday. He was able to, engineer that offense with ease. I like what I saw from him. The defense stepped up tremendously, put a lot of pressure on Kyler Murray. They really game planned for this game, and I mean they took it to the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals offense looked out of sync from start to finish, and the Rams just looked like this explosive, unstoppable force that is to be reckoned with in the upcoming weeks. I mean, it was just an encouraging sign for a team that had its ups and downs throughout the course of the season, for a team that, had moments where they didn't look like a playoff contender, looked like a team that was going to, suddenly hit rock bottom, but they found ways to put together wins when they needed them. Matthew Stafford, if he can do this on a consistent basis, going into next week against the Tampa Bay Bucks, then I will have more belief in him as the starting quarterback. But yesterday, looking at his performance, he was very solid. So I like what the Rams did in their game, and I think they're a team to look out for.
Okay, let me. Yes, that defense was flying around yesterday. Yes. the Weddle, let's say we won 39 years old, came out of retirement. He really wasn't big impact.
Oh, come on, get off of that.
No, are you really putting that much stock in it? Arizona looked like a shell themselves. Dude, this is a team that lost 4 of the last 5 games. One of those games, of course, being the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, can't say that's not a big victory now that you're looking at it. Matthew Stafford, I mean, if the Rams can consistently run the ball like they did yesterday.
Yes.
Yes, they can. But do you trust Sean McVay to do that all game long? It's good when things are going right? When you're getting 8 yards against that Buccaneers defense to lead the league and can you trust Sean McVay when it's not going right to keep pounding the rock?
I hope he does. I really hope he continues to pound the rock. It worked yesterday with Sonny Michel. He was busy early in the game. And I feel like the running game, by establishing it early, it kind of set the tone for the Rams. And that opened things up offensively for them. Their offense looked more efficient because they established the running game early. And that took some of the pressure off of Matthew Stafford. That even enabled them to, get creative a little bit and spread the field a little bit more. And that allowed Matthew Stafford to make some throws down the field to find an explosive Odell Beckham Jr., who I didn't want the Rams to get at first because we all know how he has, acted out in the past, but it seems to be working for the Rams, and the Rams look really, really impressive in their wild card performance.
Okay. Will, let's go to you. Who stood out to you? Who think can make a big run? Is it the Cincinnati Burros? Are you going there?
I mean, what stands out to me is the Bills. Yes, that we've talked about them. They're a Super Bowl contender. Then they're not. They're a lot like the Rams. But if this rumor is true that they let the Patriots score 17 because who's number 17? Josh Allen. That makes him the epic daddy right there against showing him who he is against the Patriots. They looked great. What they've done with Singletary, somehow they had no run game, just like the Rams. Now all of a sudden, this little Mighty Mouse dude looked like a stud. I mean, he's running it. He's trucking people. He's doing what he does, getting out in space, making moves. And all that's going to do is open up everything else, just like you're saying for the Rams. I just think we all want to see the match, the Bills versus KC, and see what happens. Dawson Knox is back. Stephon Diggs has been fairly quiet in the last few weeks. I just think Josh Allen's playing at an ungodly level right now. If he's got to run the ball, he's going to be the leading rusher. If he's got to pass it, he's got to pass it. I mean, they have all their weapons. Everyone's out there. I don't care for Emmanuel Sanders to be on the field. I'll tell you that. Give me Ian McKenzie. Give me Gabriel Davis. Give me Cole Beasley. And then, obviously, you have Diggs. And then you have Knox at the tight end. I mean, it's hard to beat. If Singletary is going to keep playing the way he is and they establish the run and able to run the ball, I mean, I'm just saying everything Jonathan said about the Rams, I'm saying about the Bills. I just think Josh Allen is better quarterback than Stafford because he's able to run. That's the only reason. I'm not saying he can throw it better. I don't say he has a better arm. It's the running ability that gives Allen the X factor to make that team better than the Rams, in my opinion.
I mean, good points, but at the same time, this New England team wasn't ready. I mean, they're a young team. They're probably a year or two away from where they should have been. Let's just be honest. They got on a little hot streak. I mean, yeah, you put up 40 points against – I mean, you beat Bill Belichick by over 35 points. That's something to say within itself because he's a defensive-minded coach, and what Josh Allen did was remarkable. Makes me wonder if he actually took Viagra before the game, so someone needs to give a PED test to that guy right now because the local radio is saying that he needs to go take a Viagra because it brings blood to the veins. I don't know. That guy was in that chilly weather, dude. You have to have an arm strength of what he did because everything gets heavier, right? The ball and everything. But I want to see what they do against Kansas City. They already beat Kansas City once in Arrowhead. They have to go back to Arrowhead with a different Kansas City team. I think the winner, and I'll get to this in a little bit, but I want to get to what the team that impressed me, man. I know they barely won, but I mean they got their first victory. Cincinnati, dude. Cincinnati Bengals. I might be picking them to beat the Tennessee Titans this weekend. They have everyone talks about the Dallas Cowboys and how they have the best wide receiver core. No, they don't. Cincinnati has the best wide receiver core in the league. You have freaking Jamar Chase, who's going to be Rookie Player of the Year. You have Higgins. You have then you have all these other guys, and then they also run the ball with Joe Mixon. Then you have Joe Burrow, who's a cocky mother effer. I'm just saying, but he can back it up. And all this guy does is win games. All this guy does is win games. And
Jamar Chase is just as cocky.
When they play like that, they can be cocky. Are they a year ahead of they're a year ahead of their schedule? Maybe, but they have a good matchup against Tennessee. Yes, we all know King Henry is coming back, but at the same time, can you really trust King Henry? He's been out for what, 8-9 weeks? How good is that? I mean, he's got to have a little bit of rust, right? They can say, well, you want to. Oh, he looks good in practice. Well, guess what? Dak Prescott apparently looked good in practice too. After he came back from his calf injury, guess what happened? He sucked it up. That offense sucked. So, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But this Cincinnati Bengals team, if they can punch Tennessee in the mouth first and get up 7 to 10 points, I'm telling you, they could be in the AFC Conference Championship game against. I'm predicting Kansas City, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But I just think Cincinnati is going to be there for the wreck, and I think this is going to be I think this might be. They can win easily 2 or 3 Super Bowls because remember, all their teams, all their players on the roster are on rookie deals. That they have the salary cap, where these other teams have to go and spend money and stuff like that. So they're doing it right now. They're winning right now. They're doing everything right. I'm going Cincinnati Bengals. Prove me wrong. Someone please prove me wrong because I think I'm right.
Well, you have a point there. How can you not like the Cincinnati Bengals' chances when you have a stud quarterback in Joe Burrow who's getting better every time he takes the field? This is a guy who has elevated his offense. And what I like about him is he has the ability to throw the ball deep down the field. With that ability, that allows him to stretch the field. And you have an explosive, a very explosive and successful route runner in Jamar Chase. It's ridiculous what this man is doing in his rookie year. I mean, this is his rookie year, and he's only 21 years old, and he's balling like this. I mean, it's exciting to watch. He's a very electrifying player. He has set records this season, and he has continued to raise his level of receiving mastery each week, it seems. He can only grow at this point in his career, and I really like the Cincinnati Bengals. I also like T. Higgins. I think he's capable of also being a number one option for them, but of course he won't be because you have Jamar Chase. And then you have Joe Mixon doing his thing, running the football. So, I mean, Cincinnati to me looks very complete, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. And I think they're going to be a team that can pose a threat going forward.
Yeah, I mean, the Cincinnati team, I mean, I said it earlier in the year, they're young. They're kind of cocky. They don't know what they're doing. They're all young. They always think they can win. It doesn't. I disagree. I think if they're down 7-10 points with how young and cocky and how great they've been playing, like I've said before, they can come back. I mean, we've seen them put up 40. We've seen them put up 30. I mean, no numbers enough. But this game with the Raiders was a little bit different. They played a little bit more defense. The offense it took time to get going. The Cincinnati Bengals are a lot like the Kansas City Chiefs. They have playmakers all around. They have great this, great this, great this. It all depends. Can their defense make that one extra stop? If they make that one extra stop, when do they show up? I mean, the game I want to see is the Bengals versus Kansas City because that could be the over-under on that could be 60, could be 70. I mean, if the defense doesn't show up, it's just going to be nothing but Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase just running all over the place. I was highly, highly against the Bengals drafting Jamar Chase because they needed an offensive line. They trusted Joe Burrow saying, I want my boy. Give me my boy. Good things will happen. Look where they are. They won their first playoff game. They made the playoffs. They won their first playoff game. They won their division. They're in the second round. They're rolling. Jamar Chase had a record-setting year as a rookie wide receiver. I mean, this year's successful for him because they listened to their quarterback. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow look like Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. When in doubt, I'm throwing it to my boy. And that's just what it looks like. He trusts him. He knows where he's going to be every timing route, every broken play. He knows where that guy's going to be on the field. And I just feel that strongly. But I was impressed, but I just thought the Bills win was more impressive because of who they beat and Belichick playing them for the third time.
Yeah, those two guys have such a deep connection and great chemistry that they are both dangerous and can make things happen on the football field. But this Cincinnati Bengals team, they have definitely exceeded expectations.
Well, that's the teams that impress us. Now let's go to the teams that didn't impress us whatsoever. I'm going to ask y'all, who had the worst playoff performance? Arizona Cardinals last night or the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, that's easy.
I'm
That's
going
easy.
Will first.
Oh, that's absolutely easy. I don't even know what Jonathan's going to say. It's the Cardinals. Absolutely the Cardinals. They look like unprepared. Kyler Murray's best throw was across the middle, completing like 70-something%. The Rams were giving up 80-something% of the passes across the middle. He couldn't even do it. He looked like he didn't even know what was going on. He wasn't prepared. He didn't watch film. He didn't do anything. I understand the Rams have so many playmakers on defense, but this guy was scared to run. He didn't know where to throw it. When he did throw it, it didn't look good. He threw some great passes, but he overthrew them, or they were just outside, like that pass to AJ Green in the first drive. Just overthrew him just enough where he couldn't drag his feet inside. I mean, for God's sakes, one of my favorite players in the league right now, and I catch flack for this, is OBJ. I love his antics. I love everything about him. That guy had more passing yards than Kyler Murray in 2.5 quarters. Come on. Starting quarterback over a guy that nobody likes in the league because they think he's a head case, this, that, and another. Let's be honest. Odell's out there having fun. He's in the sun. He loves it. It's not dismal Cleveland. He's not getting chastised by New York. He's out there having fun playing for next year. You know, he wanted to go to Green Bay where he could have some fun and wasn't the guy. He's not the guy. Look how well he's playing. I just think the Cardinals look like nothing. J.J. Watt was supposed to give the Cardinals so much hype for coming back and playing yesterday. He looked bad. The Cardinals just flopped. They were 7-0. They already beat them at home. Cliff Kingsbury should have never gotten this job. He struggles. He did not help Kyler get whatever he wanted. He's known Kyler, tried to get Kyler to go to college. I mean, this guy's followed him, and he just left him unprepared. It was sad. I turned off the game after the first quarter. It was just so sad to me. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, do you concur, Mr. Mathis?
I was actually thinking the other team in the NFC. I was actually thinking the Dallas Cowboys. That's where I was going with.
I disagree.
Because
they're the most penalized team in the NFL. Come on.
True.
That's what they do. So what happened when they gave up eight penalties that gave first downs or took away first downs? That doesn't surprise me. I mean, I'm not. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm just saying, like, what they did is what they did all year long.
That's true. And even the Cardinals, they stunk up the joint. But the Cowboys, to me, even though they are the most penalized team in the NFL, they are a very undisciplined team. Let's get that out of the way right now because that's fact. But who in the hell calls a quarterback draw on the final play of the game when you have no damn timeouts and you're gonna run up the middle really when you couldn't get out of bounds? Like, that right there has to be one of the most dumbest plays I've ever seen watching a football game. I couldn't believe it. In that situation, you have to make a throw to the end zone, down the field, or at least, get the ball to a receiver so he can get out of bounds. And I think that gets a bad rap for how this team performed all around. But let's look at the play calling. Let's look at the bigger picture. Why the Cowboys failed so miserably. Mike McCarthy. He's not the right guy for the job. Now, look, Mike McCarthy has guided the Dallas Cowboys to an 18-15 record in 2 years with Dallas. But, he's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Why? Because Jerry Jones likes yes man. And, as long as he's in power, that's the kind of coaches they're going to have. Mediocre coaches at best,
Well,
So I just think the Cowboys, man, they had a horrible performance. They were disappointing against a 49ers team that ran it down their throat. They had no answer.
Wait. We can't go there, Jonathan. Who did the 49ers beat last week?
Yeah, I'm going there.
The 49ers beat who last week?
I'm going there. They beat the Rams to end the season.
So the Rams are, the 49ers are no slack team. Let's just say that this team is on a roll right now. They're
not a pushover.
No.
Not at all.
It's not a pushover.
No. But the Cowboys shot themselves in the foot.
Okay. I'm Freddie's on because I just want to get this over with right now. He's gonna laugh at me, give me hell. I just want to get it over with, Freddie. Get it over with.
Well, good evening. How you guys doing? Trey, what's going on, my brother? You doing good down there, man?
I'm doing better than I was Sunday, but I'm doing good now.
As you guys can see, I'm down here in Jerry World. Down here in Jerry World with
Don't throw a Hail Mary at 50 yards.
Here we go.
Listen here, Jonathan, let's put this in perspective. Let me get this straight. I did not pick the 49ers to win Sunday. I must admit, I was very shocked that the Cowboys lost because I was going for the Dallas Cowboys.
So that's why they lost.
So they started off the game, man, and 49ers came out there. And let's be honest, the 49ers been in playoff mode for the last 3 weeks to get into the playoffs. Okay, let's get that out the way. Kyle Shanahan called a hell of a game. Hey, he used his weapons that he had because let's be honest, the Cowboys have the best, offense, weapons in the NFL. When you're talking about a complete team, you're talking about having Amari Cooper, you're talking about a CeeDee Lamb. Gallup was out due to him being hurt. You do have Ezekiel Elliott. You do have Pollard in the backfield. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that wish they was in the situation that Dak Prescott's in. And then the defense have improved from last year. You brought in a kid by the name Parsons, who's causing havoc on the defensive end. You do have a DeMarcus Lawrence. You do have a Diggs. But let me tell you guys this, man. This Cowboys team, they find a way to get in their own way. If there's a way, there's a will. There's a will, there's a way. They will do that. You talking about a team who just running it down their throat. Just run. Jimmy G make the play, pass. I mean, look. Can we go ahead and say Kellen Moore's not a head coach in the NFL? Not right now. He's not ready. Let's go ahead and just get that out the way. He's not
getting
ready.
Interviews, though.
Hey, he's getting interviews, but he is not officially ready to be a head coach in the NFL. I believe McCarthy, he will be fired. I believe they will promote Kellen Moore in that head coach position.
You are 100% right. 100% right.
I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't see it happening.
Jonathan,
Jerry Jones is too loyal.
It's just like Jason Garrett. Just like Jason Garrett. Just like him.
Jonathan,
offensive coordinator, what did they do? They fired the head coach and promoted him up. They love Kellen Moore.
Yeah,
who's
but
the
Kellen Moore is not,
coach?
like you said, and it's interesting that you brought that up, Freddie, because I was telling somebody that today that Kellen Moore is not ready to be a head coach in this football league. What when you call a quarterback draw on the final play of the game, you're not ready to be an NFL coach.
But who approved that call?
Yeah, who approved it?
That's
McCarthy
true.
said he was okay with it.
He okayed it. That's true.
But
You're
the
right.
coach should
Here's
have
the
told
thing.
Dak, and Dak should have known you have to give the ball back to the referee. That's what the mistake is. That them two should have known that.
I'm not sure he would have had enough time to get the ball back to the referee.
He snapped
No,
it with
you
one
should have done a
second.
quarterback sneak. I mean, come on.
Okay, let me be
Roy
real.
should have killed it.
Since I'm the only true Cowboy fan here and the only realist here.
Oh,
You-
really?
Talk
When
real
it comes
talk.
to the Cowboys,
For
when
you,
it comes
sir.
to the Cowboys, I agree with Jonathan. Kellen Moore shouldn't be a head coach. I mean, that after he had a hot start, but then what did they do after the second half of the season? The team could barely score 17 points a game. I mean, my God. I mean, they barely won 17 points with the elite receivers that they have in CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Cedric Wilson. You have Tony Pollard, who only got Tony Pollard only got 6 touches in the game. That offense moves with Tony Pollard. But anyway, that's never here or there. That quarterback draw, I kind of didn't have a problem with it, except for I did. It was too close of a call. I mean, if you had 16 seconds, yes, it would have been fine. But what Dak Prescott should have done, Freddie's right, was hand the ball to the referee. But at the same time, I'm not an apologist or anything like that. But that referee was at the 50 freaking yard line watching the play, not rush sprinting down the field. Let's just be honest with ourselves. But I'm not blaming the referees. I'm just saying I always thought the umpires were supposed to, in the last 2 minutes of the half and the last 2 minutes of the game, aren't they supposed to be in the middle of the field again instead of in the back of the play? I mean,
They changed that.
Okay, whatever. But if you watch whatever, I'm never arguing that. It was a stupid play call. They didn't hand the ball to the referee. They even had the ball snap, whatever the case may be. But I will say that.
Let me ask you a question. I don't know. I'm really serious about this question. So let's say Dak would have said, okay, here's the ball. He turns around, look for the referee. And if it's shown on video, couldn't the ref go back and review that and say, okay, we need to put some more time on the clock because he did look for us and we was way back here.
Nope,
is that a thing or?
It's a judgment thing. They can't. It's a judgment call. It's not reviewable. That's why they didn't look at it. That's why they didn't do anything. But that's neither here or there. I'm not blaming the referees. They had 4. They're the most penalized team in the league all season long. And what we hear from Mike McCarthy all season long? Oh, we're going to correct it. It's an issue. The hell you did. 14 penalties, and all the penalties came right when they had big plays and the momentum going. That's what killed the Dallas Cowboys. They didn't get rid of this offensive line. It's not the same offensive line it was back in 2016 when Dak and Zeke first came in. They're a lot older. Tyron Smith cannot stay healthy. Zach Martin's the only one who is a bulldozer. All the rest are soft. And I'll go with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's not a top 10 quarterback. I love Dak Prescott.
Frederick Bernard hurt you as well.
If you watch some of his throws, the lineman gave him some time, but he was skipping balls in, man, 2 bounces in and stuff. He can't throw wide receivers open. He can't do it. He's not a top 10 quarterback. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they trade Dak Prescott for something else, but that contract, it's not going to happen. I'm just saying it. But I will say this: going back to their loyalty, Jerry Jones is different than the last couple of years. He's kind of laid back a little bit. He wants to win a Super Bowl. He's kind of laid off. Like making big decisions. He's led that to Stephen Jones, his son, and everything like that. So today was supposed to be his regular interview show on 103.5 The Fan in Dallas. Jerry Jones doesn't pass up opportunities to talk. He canceled that. Last time he did that was in 2019, and guess who got fired? Jason Garrett. I would not be shocked if he canceled his radio show because he's waiting on a phone call. They said this in San Antonio today on the Blitz and on the another radio show. Give Sean Payton a call. See if he's done in New Orleans. Sean Payton would be a great head coach for this Dallas Cowboys football team.
Won't happen.
Another great topic right there.
But Jerry Jones is actually getting – he sees the light at the end of the tunnel. He wants to win it before he's dead. I mean, he sees all these people passing away, and he knows his time is coming to an end. He wants another –
He's more pragmatic now. He's more pragmatic now.
Yes, he is. He's very pragmatic. So, honestly, I think it's 80-20 Mike McCarthy stays, but I think he's still debating whether or not he's going to bring Mike McCarthy back. And if he does fire him, honestly, I wouldn't Freddie, you're right, but I wouldn't bring Kellen Moore back. I'd bring Dan Quinn back. Dan Quinn, what he did for that defense, and he led Atlanta Falcons team to a Super Bowl.
That would be my pick too. It's funny you guys are mentioning all this stuff because I was talking to somebody at my job today on our school campus about it, and I said the same thing that Freddie said about Kellen Moore not being ready, and I said the same thing that Dan Quinn should be promoted to the head coaching, and be handed that job. He I think he has proven himself once again that he's worthy of another shot at coaching an NFL team. And why not the Dallas Cowboys with what he's done?
The thing is, with Dan Quinn, you about to lose Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn's he's going to be a head coach next year. There's too many teams going out. And then the thing about Sean Payton, it's not going to happen, Trey, for one reason. Unless that Jerry Jones, okay. Only way it's going to work is Jerry Jones said, okay, I'm going to take a step back. Sean, you coach this. I'm gonna let you coach it, but will Jerry allow him to coach it? Honestly, bro, I'm gonna tell you, you get a Sean Payton, you get a Flores, a Mike Tomlin, a coach like that. Hey, you gonna win it. You'll win. It's over. But that's just not gonna happen though.
No,
and we can't sit up here and blame Jerry Jones. Neither. I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm a Cowboys hater, but let's keep it real.
All right.
Jerry Jones, I say he's 15% of the problem. And I'm going to say why. There's a lot of teams, a lot of quarterbacks that wish they had an owner like Jerry Jones. I bet you Aaron Rodgers wish he had an owner who's bringing in all these weapons around Dak Prescott. I bet you a lot of these teams wish they had an owner that's willing to sign the check to bring in a lot of these guys to make them team have offensive pieces around them to make them work. So a lot of people want to blame Jerry Jones, and I understand, he's the one that picked the coach. I mean, I understand these things. He's the one. I even heard a report that he liked to be called a coach. So I understand these things. But the man had weapons for Dak. So now it's time for Dak to say, okay, let's get it done. And let's be fair. I don't think Jerry Jones was too fond of Dak Prescott at the get-go. So just because of the Tony Romo deal.
So
I agree.
Yesterday, with me being snowed in, I watched a lot of TV, and these are the things that I caught with watching multiple sports shows and talk shows and stuff. Stephen Jones said Mike McCarthy would be back next year. We've already said that.
He didn't say that. He said he's confident.
He's confident, yes. But you just said Jerry's stepping back and letting Stephen do that. They also said that Jerry Jones is still kicking himself for letting Sean Payton leave. Yep. So it's funny that you guys are bringing Sean Payton's name up. The other thing I've noticed that I just want to throw out there, Kellen Moore did not call the plays to their team's strength, in my opinion. Just flat out. He didn't call the right plays the whole game. He was can't pick anything out. But Kyle Shanahan, he knows his players. He knows the plays. He knows what Jimmy Garoppolo can do. He knows who's around him. He kept calling the right kind of plays to make his team excel to the highest rate, where I felt like Kellen Moore did not. And then you got Mike McCarthy, who's not telling him what to start switching to. I mean, let's be honest. The Cowboys only ran it 21 times. 21 times. You have Tony Pollard. You have Ezekiel. And you got to run the ball. They need to try to establish the run game.
And you have to find. You also have to find a way to incorporate CeeDee Lamb in the offense more as well, and give him more touches.
Yeah, I mean, Dalton Schultz has been taking off the last 3-4 weeks. I think that's great. Cowboys always excel when they have a go-to tight end. I just feel like Kellen Moore's not putting the right players in the right place. I think Dak is struggling because the plays aren't what best fits. I mean, I don't know if that's he needs to call some more audibles. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. But I agree. He's got so many weapons around him. But when you have the right weapons, but none of them are going in the right direction, it's kind of hard, right?
Well, let me put it this way. Put Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers, I hate this guy. You put Aaron Rodgers on the Dallas Cowboys team undefeated.
Super Bowl.
It's right. If you put Josh Allen on this Cowboy team, are they not going favorites in the NFC? Dak Prescott is the problem. I love Dak Prescott. He's not a good – there's a reason why he's a fourth-round quarterback. There's a reason for it. Yeah, he's a great motivation leader. Yeah, he says all the right things except for whenever the fans are throwing stuff on the field, and then he he said good job to him, whatever the case may be. I did not agree with what he said after that. But this is a guy who usually says the right things in press conference and everything like that.
That was
But at
out
the
of
same time, But at the same time, Dak Prescott's not a top 15 quarterback. He's not. He's barely maybe top 15. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying
I
is,
think you're pushing,
Dak
Trey.
Prescott's probably your problem. Dak Prescott's probably your problem. Zeke
When
Elliott.
was the last time they had a top 10 quarterback, though?
I can make a case, or Tony Romo was a top 10 quarterback in the league.
And they
Trey.
couldn't get it done then either.
The offensive line's not all that great either.
Did the Tony Romo have this great offensive line when Dak took over? Did he have this great defense that Dak had this year? No. Tony Romo had to throw the ball 50 times a game just to
He had
keep up.
Ezekiel Elliott at the end of his career, though, right?
No, he got hurt
Zeke
that
was
year.
good.
He got hurt that
Now,
year.
come on now. He did have DeMarco Murray. He had Dez Bryant. He had
What did DeMarco Murray do? What did
DeMarco Murray
do?
was amazing, and they didn't even want to pay him, so he walked.
Exactly. Trey, come on, bro.
What did he do when he went to the Eagles? Nothing.
He didn't have
No,
the
he
offensive
totally
line. He
went
wanted to
to
get that
Cowboys.
money.
Right.
You don't pay.
What did
running backs
Ezekiel
for
Elliott
free.
do when he wasn't going to get paid? He went to the
I'm
Bahamas
tired
for
of
how many
Ezekiel
weeks?
Elliott.
Since
Okay,
he got paid, he hasn't done anything really. He has not been
Exactly.
effective.
You don't pay
at all.
running back. I'm in the mindset they should have cut Ezekiel Elliott this year and should have had Tony Pollard.
You've
because his
seen a
offensive line was-
The
significant
money's in the
drop-off.
wrong places because of who?
Exactly. I agree with you. I think Tony Pollard should be the feature back on this Dallas Cowboy team.
I
think-
agree.
And
And I told you that
credit
how
to
many weeks ago when I
Hold
said
on,
that they
hold
go,
on.
the Cowboys will
I'm
go
tired
where
of
Tony
this
Pollard
slander.
goes.
I'm tired of the slander about Zeke. That's just credit. You guys really don't run them like y'all used to. Y'all don't.
They don't utilize him, but then you
They
have
don't.
also seen a drop off in production as well.
Dropped
Hey,
off
yes,
every
but
year.
still, you pay this man all this money, and you don't
Exactly.
use him.
I wasn't for
Yeah.
it.
You don't use him.
Freddie has.
But
a
who's
good point there.
who's the head coach?
That's true.
He
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
like to
Mike
run the
McCarthy,
ball.
Who did not like running the ball in Green Bay?
Exactly.
He's one
If you're gonna have a
dimensional.
pass game, you got to have a run game.
Right. And that's why the Cowboys didn't really have any success because they're too one dimensional.
21 times. 21
Trey,
times.
this your show?
Yes, it is.
Man, it felt pretty bad. I come on here and I school you. This is what I do.
Not this one. I will say this: Tony Pollard, when the Dallas Cowboys finally scored a touchdown. Guess who's the feature back in that? Tony Pollard. I'm just saying that the offense moved a lot better with Tony Pollard. But that's neither here nor there. The Cowboys lost. They suck. And the game's over. Heartbreaking fashion, as the Cowboys always give us, whatever the case may be. Now let's move on to the winners of this week. We're going to pick the games of the divisional round. We have two great games on. We think it's going to be great games. We thought these were going to be great games this weekend, but they pretty much sucked it up. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Should they add another wild card team? But we'll get into that a little bit later. But I want to pick some winners right now. Jonathan, I'll go with you first. First game, Bengals-Titans. Are the Bengals going to go to Tennessee and whip up on the Titans and Derrick Henry? Or is Derrick Henry, the king, going to take over and rush for 1,000 yards and get the victory?
If they get off to a fast start and they come out of the gate strong, yes, they will beat the Tennessee Titans. I like what Cincinnati has done. How can you not like the Bengals to win this game if they come out early? You have a stud in Joe Burrow, and you have a great wide receiver who has really emerged onto the scene in Jamar Chase. So I have to place my bet on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Will, you live in the Ohio area. Where are you going with this one? You going the Burrios?
Oh, man. I'm a 50-50.
We don't pay you to pay 50-50. We're here to make opinions, buddy.
I know.
Go for it.
I mean, I'm going to take Tennessee, but barely. I mean, I got to take Tennessee because they haven't stopped running the ball and they're still winning without Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry's not 100%, I still think they can do it. I just like Tannehill. I think he's a good quarterback. I think this game, it's going to be a clock game. It's going to be Vrabel's going to do what Vrabel does. He's going to try to slow this down. The best way to win this game is to keep the ball out of Burrow's hands, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball. They're going to stick to their A game, and they're going to play their A game like they've done all year to get them 12 wins.
Freddie, you concur?
No way, no in hell am I going over the Tennessee Titans when you have a guy by the name of Joe Burrow when you look at him, you can tell this young kid, he have it. I mean, he gives you those Tom Brady, those Aaron Rodgers, those Patrick Mahomes type vibes. I mean, he really do. You can tell this kid is tough. Like he is tough. With him and Chase got the chemistry they got is unreal. The thing that scares me about the Tennessee Titans is that hey, they found the way to win without Derrick Henry. They have. They adjusted to a different way, a different style of play to win without him. I'm not sure this late, in the season they can go back to that and they can find a way. I'm not sure, I mean, hey, he's going to be in shape. But the thing is that injury going to be, is he still going to feel a little bit of it? Is he going to be a little rusty? I'm not too sure about that. I'm going with the Bengals on this one, and I'm going to tell you one other thing that's scary. It's about a team that have heart, a team that believe that they can do something. This team they said, okay, we won our division. Okay, we won a playoff game that nobody said that we would do. Their confidence is building up, and hey, they're gonna become a dangerous team. They're gonna make a run for it.
Like I said, that's what I said earlier, but I can't go against the hype. Derrick Henry's back; those guys have figured it out. I know I was all about the Bengals earlier, but I mean, I agree. Everything Freddie said is kind of what I said earlier, but it's just. It's going to be that 12th man, I feel like, this weekend.
I hate agreeing with Freddie. I really do. I'm going with the Bengals, man. I don't trust Tennessee more than I can throw them. This is a team that lost to the freaking Houston Texans. Give it a break. I mean, I just don't know what Tennessee team is going to show up. I don't trust Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, they're going to be at home. Can you trust your wide receivers to be healthy with Julio Jones and A.J. Brown? I don't know. And then, like I said, is Henry really going to be that big impact going off 8 weeks? He's been off for 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be a little rusty, I think. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a little chilly, a little cold. But man, the way the confidence level of the Burrows are going right now with Chase and Higgins, and oh my gosh, then you have Mixon in the mix. I mean, they can run the ball, they can throw the ball, they can beat you so many different ways. Give me the Bengals in this one. I just don't trust Tennessee Titans to save my life. That being said, I'd probably go to the Super Bowl because I suck at picking games. And then the game that Freddie's going to be watching and probably partying and going to miss church on Sunday is going to be the 49ers going to the frigid Lambeau Field, where it's going to be -1 degrees, actually, believe it or not, that night. Can the San Francisco 49ers keep their run game alive and defeat Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers? Will, what do you say?
I can show you my toe that's broken right now. It's going to help me win, but I mean, I don't have a long enough hair right now. But what I do know is I have my best friend catching the ball, Davante Adams. So give me Aaron Rodgers. Give me the best running back on their team, A.J. Dillon. I mean, I got the Packers in this one. It's going to be cold. We don't know what Aaron's doing. He might try to win a Super Bowl and then leave the Packers, and then Davante leaves and dismantle this team, or he could stay. But I just want them to keep wanting to know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do next.
Mathis, you're going 49ers, right? You're going against Freddie, right? You're going against Freddie.
I don't know if I could do that. I mean, no doubt that Jimmy Garoppolo deserves credit for helping guide San Francisco's late season stretch, but this 49ers team, and we can't deny it, they have a quarterback issue, and their only weapon and the only way they can really hurt you is on the ground. I mean, because they have a power running back in Deebo Samuel who can give you chunk plays and can make the game very interesting with his speed and his stamina and his ability, to be dangerous, particularly in open field. But I got to go with the Green Bay Packers. You can never bet against Aaron Rodgers just like you can't bet against Tom Brady. You just can't do that. That's a big no-no. I think I learned my lesson, from that one. But I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Look, the game is at home. It's at Lambeau Field. It's a tough place to play. It's going to be very cold. We're talking about bone-chilling temperatures. I think, Aaron Rodgers is going to put on the show as he usually does. He's going to find Davante Adams. Those two guys, in my opinion, you can make the argument that that's the best quarterback wide receiver combo in the NFL today. Those two guys together are very dangerous. So I got to go with the Packers. I think they'll be game ready. They had a week to rest up, get ready for this game. They'll be very prepared coming in. And I think they'll be ready to go against the 49ers. But I think the Packers win it in a close game. I don't think it's going to be easy because, again, I like Kyle Shanahan's philosophy and his play calling and how he runs first, pass second. I like that about him. But I still got to go with the Green Bay Packers at the end of the day.
Well, we all know where Freddie's going.
He's a bad man. Emu down and all. Broke toe and all. He's a bad man. And you know where I'm going with. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. I ain't going against that quarterback by the name of Aaron Rodgers. How bad would I look to go against my man, my dude, when he got Devontae Adams, when he got Aaron Jones, Scantling in the crew? Oh, let's not act like this team is not getting some more parts on this team. They got their left tackle, Balatar. I can't say his name. I'm sorry. Say it again?
I said no one can say his name.
Yeah. Then again, the cornerback back. So, I mean, this team is getting healthy. They're getting ready to go on a run. And that bad man going to say, you know what? All you people that talked about me, I'm going to show you. I'm about to get that back-to-back MVP in the W. We going on a run.
Are you done?
You want me to continue? I can continue.
No, I don't. Because as much as I want the 49ers to win this game, it ain't going to happen.
You agree with me back-to-back? Wow.
I'm going. I think Aaron Rodgers. I think they get to the championship game. I think there's too much going on. Am I rooting for Green Bay? Hell no. Do I root for Aaron Rodgers to lose? Yeah, I do. But I just think it's a short week for the San Francisco 49ers. They had to fly across country, go to Dallas, go back home, then have to go play a Saturday game in Green Bay where it's going to be snow showers for -1 degree temperatures. That defense is better in Green Bay than it was last year. They can stop the run, unlike the Dallas Cowboys. Aaron Rodgers, cold games, I just don't think that he's going to lose this game. But even though he is, 0-4 against the San Francisco 49ers in his playoff career, I think he gets his first victory in this one. Now, ask me next week when they play in the championship game if I have Aaron Rodgers, because I have a stat for y'all that you can never trust Aaron Rodgers in the AFC championship game.
So,
anyway, that's next week.
Does Trey Lance come out this week? Because I thought it was coming out last week.
I think you have to because Kyle Shanahan did report that Jimmy G did have something going on with that shoulder. So I'm not too sure how much you know.
Baker Mayfield had something going on with his shoulder all year.
Look how good that worked out. But Trey Lance gives you a better option, right? Like he can add to that running game. He can add.
He gives you that Josh Allen X factor of running and this and that and some other plays.
But you're going to ask Trey Lance to go in the playoff game, your first ever playoff game, in Lambeau Field against. I don't. That's a tough one. But they said Jimmy Garoppolo is going to practice this week. So
I also thought Trey Lance was going to play against the Cowboys because of that X factor, extra plays that they could do and shifting and motions and stuff like that. And we didn't see them, and they still won. I'm not saying the Packers and the Cowboys are anywhere in the same realm. It's just a question, like, does Trey Lance come out? That's because he has that extra feature.
To answer your question, I think Kyle Shanahan kept that in his back pocket unless the game got close, if it was in doubt. That game was not in doubt probably till the last 6 minutes of the game. Let's just be honest with it. The San Francisco 49ers held that game, and I think now he's going to use it later in the playoffs, probably against his Green Bay team, to give him some that they haven't seen before. But I still think Green Bay is going to win. I think it's going to be close, but I think Green Bay is going to win. All right. Let's go to Jonathan Mathis' team right here. His homer, the Rams, who look very good, look like Super Bowl contenders against the crappy Arizona Cardinals. Sorry, Jonathan, that's how to do that. The same team that lost to the San Francisco 49ers just last week. Just saying. Do the Rams go to Tampa Bay and knock off the 7-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, Tom Brady, in Tampa Bay? Freddie, go.
I will never go against Tom Brady.
Well, what are you
I'm
going to do next week then?
I'm sorry. You mean to tell me? I understand that he don't have Antonio Brown. I understand he don't have Godwin. I understand that. But this is Tom Brady. He will find a way to get it done. He's not going to be like Kyler Murray and the Cardinals trying to do too much. He knows when you going against that Rams defense, it's not about the long pass, it's about the short pass that's going to tire that defense out. Because we've seen them. We've seen Tampa put up big numbers early this season when they played them. So Tom Brady, he knows, okay, my O line, if you give me time, if you block for me, give me time, step back, boom, get the ball out there, we can do it. We know what this defense is capable of. They made a statement when, I know it's against the Eagles, but I still think, they said they came out and said, okay, let's let the world know that, hey, I'm Tom Brady. Hey, as long as we still have, Evans, we still have Gronkowski. I believe Leonard Fournette should be back for this week as well. So as long as they have that running game, Tom Brady's going to dink and dunk, get the ball in and out real quick. I'm going to go Tampa, but it's going to go in overtime. It's going to go in overtime. The last possession in hands, Tom Brady, to send Jonathan Mathis, LA team home, and where we're going to see a back-to-back NFC championship against Tampa, Green Bay, Rodgers versus Brady. And it's going to be Hollywood, Showtime, and I'm going to be watching every moment of it.
Will, I think you're going Rams here.
Yeah, going Rams all day. I mean, look, I agree with everyone else. You don't bet against the GOAT. The only thing that could hurt the Buccaneers is if what's his name, who's in a walking boot right now, does not play.
Yeah,
That's going to put a hole in the line. But supposedly Fournette might be coming back, right? Ronald Jones is coming back. Now you're going to give them 4 running backs to use. You got 3 tight ends to use. Does this sound familiar with Tom Brady and any of his other Super Bowl wins? He's got a good defense. I mean, give me the Buccaneers. Arians has been riding Shaq Lawson to start getting more sacks, this, that, and another. And what does he do? He picks somebody off at the end of the game. We all know Stafford's ticking time bomb on picks. This could be the week where he just throws 2 of them. You never know. Tom Brady's going to take advantage of throwing it against the safeties that aren't playing. He's going to go after Weddle, who's 37 years old and hasn't been playing for 9 months. It's going to be the GOAT, all the GOAT. Goats eat everything. He's going to eat up some Rams.
All right, Jonathan, put these guys in perspective. Why the Rams are going to win this game? Because it beat on the Cardinals, right?
Well, not because of that, but if you go back to week 3, the Rams took care of business against the Tampa Bay Bucks. And I know that was in the regular season.
But
and I know Tom Brady doesn't take the regular season as serious as he does come playoff time. I mean, it's a different mindset for Tom Brady, in the playoffs. So the Bucks, yes, they are still championship material. And this team is on a mission to win back-to-back. But it's going to be very hard when you have some key names out of action. You don't have Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette. We don't know his status. There's some players that's missing due to injury. But the Bucks made light work of the Eagles. They took care of business there. Their defense stepped up. I think their defense showed the world that, hey, we're back, and we still can get to the quarterback and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. My biggest worry here is if they do come out the way they did against the Eagles, this can force Matthew Stafford into making some critical turnovers in this game. And if he makes 1 or 2 mistakes, Tampa Bay can easily come out and win this game. If Matthew Stafford throw a couple of interceptions or has a lost fumble like we've seen a few weeks back. So that's my biggest concern. That's my area of concern with the Rams. But I'm gonna go out on the limb and I'm gonna say that the Rams take care of business against the Bucks. But they win by a touchdown. They're not gonna win by much. They're not gonna win by much. And if Tom Brady has the ball in the final possession, they could lose. But I'm gonna go with the Rams only because I'm confident in Aaron Donald. I'm confident in Jalen Ramsey. I'm confident in that defense. I think that defense knows what's up. I think they know what time it is, and I think they'll be ready and prepared mentally and physically to take on this challenge against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it ain't like they haven't seen them before because they saw them in week 3.
Going back to your point, when the Rams beat the Buccaneers, you got to remember the next week Tom Brady was going to New England. I think he has mindset on something else there a little bit. I mean, it's also the third game of the season, but you're right. They did beat him. That does say something, but they're going to Tampa Bay this time. And Freddie, I hate you. Why are we agreeing, man? I don't like agreeing with you.
And Trey, you bring up the fact that this game's in Tampa. Tampa loves playing at home. They only lost one game, if I'm correct.
Yep. And another stat, if Tom Brady has won more divisional games than any other quarterback or any other team besides Joe Namath in the division, he doesn't lose in the divisional round. His last loss was in 2005, I think.
Right.
So, but like I said, Von Miller looked like a younger Von Miller yesterday. Yes, like Arizona didn't play well, so I don't know if that's a caveat to what the Arizona Cardinals were doing, or if that was just. I think it's a little bit of both, right? But Von Miller plays the way he did, like the younger version of himself, like he was in different MVP years. And then you have Aaron Donald as well. And then you have Floyd, and then you have Ramsey in the backfield. It could be tougher, but Tom Brady, he has 3 good tight ends: O.J. Howard, Gronkowski, and who's the other
Cameron
one?
Brate.
3 of those. I mean, so you know Godwin's going to hurt him a little bit, but he's loving Scotty Miller, right? Is that his name, Scotty Miller?
I was going to say, Scotty Miller's still there, right?
Exactly. Then you have Johnson.
Loved him last year.
You have.
He has weapons.
Yeah. And then if Leonard Fournette comes back, is even halfway what he was at the end of the year. You get playoff Lenny. I think it's good. And do you trust Matthew Stafford? Yes, he finally got that playoff win. But do you really trust Matthew Stafford to carry your team? Because I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one thing they really do well is stop the run. And is Sean McVay gonna be patient and keep up with that run game when it's not going well? That's what I want to see. You have to, because the San Francisco 49ers showed it against your Los Angeles Rams 2 weeks ago. They're down 17-0. But Shanahan kept with the run, and they're right back in that game. Can he be patient long enough, or is it going to be in Stafford's hand? If that's the case, I think Tampa Bay is going to win. I think they win by 4 points. I think it goes down to Tom Brady.
I have a real hot take. I love Sean McVay. If they lose this game this weekend, I believe the Rams will be looking for a new head coach.
Ooh.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Hey.
I don't know, Jonathan. They bought in to win this year. They bought in.
That's true.
I think it's a little different mindset right now for McVay with running the ball. I mean, you saw at the end of the season they trusted Michelle, started giving him the ball, but now that they have Michelle and Cam Akers, I still see him running it 25-plus times in the game, 25-plus times between those two guys.
It's like the year when they had Todd Gurley and Anderson.
Yeah. But they're going against the number 1 rushing defense in the league.
But I think he's still going to have to do it to be able to open up the lanes.
That's what I'm saying. Can he be patient enough to do it? If they go down, like they go 3 and out the first play, Tom Brady goes and scores a touchdown. They go out and have 3 or 4 plays. Tom Brady goes and kicks a field goal or another touchdown. They're down 14-0. Is he still going to stay with the run, or is he going to leave it to Matthews? That's where I'm trying to get at.
I get, but that's what I'm saying. If he has Cam Akers and Michelle, I think he will still be patient because he has those 2 guys that he can trust.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, because sometimes I think he gets carried away with all these shiny toys that he has now, and he feels that he can get more creative and be more cute, because we've seen at times that Sean McVay tries to get too cute with his offense because he has Cooper Kupp, he has OBJ, And he has so many weapons and playmakers on his offense that he can just dial up some crazy plays and try to get the ball to all his receivers. But there's times throughout the season that we saw this Rams team being one-dimensional too, and that hurt them. So now that they're running the ball, they've gotten a little bit better towards the end of the season, going into the playoffs, and that's good so far. So let's see. I'm with Trey. Let's see if they can stick to that, though. Let's see if they can stick to this method and run the football more than they decide to throw it. Because if they run the football as well as they did against the Cardinals, it might be a long day for the Tampa Bay Bucks. But again, Trey brought up a good point too. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers is good at stopping the run.
But I think this is also going to be a game where they're going to miss Robert Woods. I think this is the game. Yeah, they got OBJ, but OBJ doesn't do what Robert Woods does.
They've been missing Robert Woods. That loss was deflating.
Yeah, I think it's going to show this game. I really do. I think they're going to double. I don't think Cup's going to have a good game. I think they're going to handle OBJ. I think this is where Woods. Jefferson's going to have a good game. I think Jefferson's going to have a good game for them to have any chance. But I still think it's close. I think Tampa Bay wins by 4. All right, let's go to the best game of the weekend on CBS at 6:30 at night. We have a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. But Josh Allen already went to Arrowhead and beat Patrick Mahomes, but that's when the Patrick Mahomes-led Chiefs were struggling on offense, and now they're this high-flying offense. They look like the old freaking Kansas City Chiefs again, and now their defense is even better. I think ever since week 4 or 5, ever since they've gone on this little win streak, they've only allowed, 14 points a game?
Yeah.
I like what Josh Allen's doing, but they cannot run the ball. If you have to have Josh Allen run the ball to have your running attack going, that's not going to be a good thing, I don't think. Kansas City has too many weapons. They're hitting all cylinders right now. I think the only question in this game is Tyreek Hill's going to be okay for the whole game? That's the only question I have. I'm going first on this one. I think Kansas City, I think they want to go back to the Super Bowl because they want to – and honestly, I think they're rooting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they want a rematch because of what they did last year in that Super Bowl. That was not the Kansas City team that we all know. I think they have that on the mindset. They're playing at home. Give me Kansas City. I think they win by 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
Will, do you agree?
No. Give me the tables. Get the tables.
Oh, Lord.
Get me a table. I'm telling you.
I want to see
He's
you go.
the daddy. He's going to try to do this again. Give me that defense is playing better. They got a better run game right now. The elements don't matter. This is just mano a mano, man on man. I think McDermott's got it out to try to prove that last year was a fluke, that they lost. This team's ready to win now. They know it's going to state. We know that Kansas City's been struggling on and off all year. They got it going right now. This is what we want to see. We want to see rematches of teams. We always want the underdog to win. I feel like the underdog is Buffalo. Come on. We feel bad for Buffalo. 4 straight Super Bowls haven't got a win. Let's make Josh Allen get that win for him. This is where I'm at. Josh Allen, Devin Singletary's playing great, and then you have 4 solid wide receivers. Let him do what he's got to do. Give me the Bills.
Jonathan Mathis, you got my Chiefs, right? You got my back.
No, I'm gonna have to ride with the Bills as well. Look.
Why did I bring you on the show?
Look, I get it. Pittsburgh was never a match for the Chiefs. I get it. The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. They have Tyreek Hill. They have arguably the best tight end in the game, and Travis Kelce. And they all were in peak playoff form, right? They all looked like their usual selves. Yes, this team has had ugly moments this season, but they found a way to respond to the adversity. And here they are. They're in the playoffs. And Andy Reid, he's another guy who gets very creative with his offense. I think the Chiefs are ready as ever to challenge for a title, but they will hit a roadblock this weekend against a very good Buffalo team. What people are forgetting is that Buffalo has a top-ranked offense. A top-ranked defense. You know, and I like that secondary. Did you see what Micah Hyde did? Did you see that sensational pick that he had in the game, an over-the-shoulder catch? I mean, that was an all-pro play from a guy in the secondary. You know, I mean, I really like Buffalo's chances in this game. And if Josh Allen goes off the way he did in last week's game and have a performance like that, an outstanding performance, then it's over. It's over for the Chiefs. But I do think it's going to be a great primetime matchup. I do think the game is going to be very, very close because these two teams have talent. It's defense versus offense, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Please, Freddie, don't go with me. Please don't go with me on all these games. Please don't do it.
Man, listen here. I was tell people at the A7 Network all the time. I tell Jonathan this. I tell Jay. I tell them this. It's not how you start a season. It's about how you finish a season. You know, I'm not gonna go basketball terms, but you know, a lot of people want to judge, you know, basically how you look of late. But it's about how you look when you go towards the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs are getting hot, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, they are.
They are getting hot. They are finding ways to put a points on the scoreboard. And I say this all the time. I don't see nobody. If that big three is rolling, I don't see nobody be able to outscore that big three. I'm talking about Mahomes, Hill, and Kelsey. Don't let this game get close. The Chiefs have the last possession. Shoot, they're gonna play bully ball. It's okay. We about to bring Kelsey into action, and we're gonna go back over and over. And I want to see you stop that. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs, man. Just because of Andy Reid. You know, Andy Reid, you know, this team, like Trey said, they got a bitter taste in their mouth. They saw last year how Patrick Mahomes had to run for his life in that Super Bowl. They seen how they lost to Tampa Bay. They want revenge. They want blood. And they're motivated, especially now that the offense is rolling and you get motivated and that offense is clicking. Scary times for the Bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well,
I totally agree.
With that being said, I mean, Tyreek Hill hasn't been playing very well lately for whatever the reason may be. So is this the game that he's going to come out and surprise everyone?
Yep.
I think he's a little banged up.
He has a heel issue.
Yeah.
Right. But, I mean, he's got like 3 catches in the last 4 games.
And they're still scoring all these points. I mean, you still have fun, and you still
look
have
for Andy Reid to make it easy for Hill. Look for him to get him into the action.
You have Pringle. You have
I've been saying that forever.
You have Edward Hilaire, man. I mean, they're stacked.
He didn't even play last game. He didn't see the light of day.
No, because they're resting him for this week.
After the way Gore looked, why would you even need him?
Right.
You use him in the bullpen, baby. You need him in the bullpen. That's exactly what's going on. I want y'all's take on this before we wrap up the show. It's been real. It's been fun. But right now, Houston fired their head coach, Coley. Coley is leaving only one African-American head coach. That is Mike Tomlin in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Miami Dolphins fired Brian Flores, everything like that. Does the NFL have a problem with this right now? Like, do they need to address this really quick? I mean, they need to do something else besides the Rooney Rule. I mean, this looks like it's bad for the NFL with only having one African-American when there's talented African-American head coaches everywhere you look in the NFL right now.
Can I go first?
Eric Bieniemy for the Kansas City Chiefs should have got a head coaching job last year, and he didn't get one. He should be a hot candidate this year to see what happens. But whoever wants to go first, go ahead. But I yeah.
The only problem that I have is that a coach who has only experiences on the college level can get a job before like Eric, you know, or a guy that's been in the NFL, been an offensive coordinator, has been working behind the scenes. That's my problem. I definitely don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair that you know, a lot of coaches will get in a situation where, for example, Flores, you know, he came in there to Miami. We all knew this roster was not the best roster. And he tell me he get a short period of time, and where we see coaches that get opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, I think that's a problem. I think it's a problem that African American coaches only get a chance when they get opportunities. A lot of times, it's in a bad situation. It's in a
Mhm.
situation where the team is not expected to win in so long, and then after the first 2 or 3 years, you want to go ahead and get rid of them because they're not producing. I don't, me personally, I'm not sure how you fix that. I mean, I'm not sure you can go say, hey, make sure you go hire our African American coach, or maybe they'll have somebody from the league sit in on these interviews, maybe to listen, go over these credentials, see, and kind of go with the hiring process. I'm not sure, but there is an issue, but and let's not. I don't want to. I'm trying to think of the word. I don't want to. I don't want to come off saying something wrong. And let's not, I'm a black man, but let's not come off and sometimes we let our what we going through in the world dictate decisions. I don't want that to be a reason why. I want this to truly be a genuine decision. Like, you really think this guy has the credentials. He has what his background, what he's accomplished. If he went through the NFL as offensive coordinator, whatever, that he's qualified for the position. Because I mean that's just my position on it.
I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't think they had a big issue until the Houston fired Coley, and then the Miami one when Ryan Flores, what he took this team from to what it was. I mean, my God, I mean, the win away from making the playoffs. They didn't have a very good roster. The trade talks all year. They had 8 straight wins. If they had 9, they would have went to the playoffs. What he did was amazing. Then they fire him. I just I didn't think the NFL had a big issue, but my God, I will say this: I think it's a wait and see game with all the head because there's 8 vacancies right now. So
Mhm.
let's just say Kellen Moore gets a head coaching job and Eric Bieniemy doesn't. We have a problem. Let's just straight up say.
Mhm.
Let's say Urban Meyer. I kind of understood why they brought him in because the Trevor Lawrence thing, because he thought he was good offense, whatever. But that was just a disaster of it in itself. Yeah. But honestly, I think the enemy probably would have been better for the heck for him. See what he done with Patrick Mahomes and everything like that.
Hey
I
Trey, you want McCarthy out? Go tell
yeah,
McCarthy to go kick
McCarthy
a
out.
player. Go tell him to go kick a player.
Huh?
Tell McCarthy to go kick a player so he can fire him.
Do y'all have any issue with Jonathan? Will?
Well, David Clowney, I always say his name wrong, and Steve Wilkes, remember the former Arizona Cardinals coach, are examples of where the ownership and the front office have shown little patience with African American coaches. Um, I feel like a lot of these black coaches, they walk into situations where they have limited talent, not enough time to turn things around for a franchise that has been down in the dumps for some time before they even arrive. And that is what we saw with the former Houston Texans coach. I mean, he walked into a situation where he didn't have his pro bowl quarterback. He didn't have his top defensive leader and pass rusher, and he just walked into a bad situation where there was really nothing he can really do to help with the process and change the situation that was happening within the franchise. I think Eric Bieniemy is long overdue. I think he's well qualified for an NFL coaching job. I think Jim Caldwell is qualified for another job opening. What's very disturbing to me is that you only have one African American coach now in the NFL, and we all know who that is. That's Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is the lone man standing now among black coaches, and it's really, really disturbing to see. We need diversity in all walks of life, not just in the business of sports, but in every profession. And that's something that we lack in a number of professions is African Americans and minorities in general. I would like to see a change. I think having one African American coach in the entire NFL is utterly ridiculous and it's inexcusable. And changes need to be made. Let's start giving men of color and everybody in general more opportunities to thrive and be successful coaches in the NFL. But you can't fire a man after one season. You got to give him a chance to, give him some time to work things out and hopefully turn the franchise in a different direction.
I will say this real quick before I go to Will on this. Yeah, we only have one right now, but I think Brian Flores is fixing to get another job. I think when Miami let go of Brian Flores, that's when you saw Houston get rid of Coley, and I think they're going to try to reel in Flores for Watson. I think Watson and Flores, I think they like each other. I think that's what you're going to see. But Will, go ahead.
Yeah, this is one of my touchy subjects, obviously. I mean, I know Watson has been linked to Flores. That's why he wanted to go to Miami, was because of him. So we'll see what happens there. But, I mean, I was trying to do this list of people that I've already seen last year and this year that are African-American coaches in the league right now that are linked to interviews. And, I mean, the list is very small that I can come up with. I mean, you guys could help me if I give you the names. But, I mean, a couple of these guys, they need to get jobs. They need to do it. Not pity jobs. They deserve the jobs. They need to be able to build a roster. They need to be able to give multiple years. That's the problem with some of these guys that are getting the jobs is here's a team, it's in shambles. You only get 1 year, maybe 2 to build rosters, and we have no draft picks. Well, make the best of it. Like, you got to give these guys a fair chance. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know how long Jerod Mayo has been coaching at the Patriots, but he's linked to getting interviews for head coaching jobs. The Broncos are talking about interviewing him. Brian Flores, a name that I'd love to see get an interview at the end of this season. Byron Leftwich. He's been doing great things. He played in the league. I think Freddie, you said this. He played in the league. He's an assistant coach. He's a behind-the-scenes guy. Give him a chance if he wants it. Eric Bieniemy, he's been linked many times last year, this year. I mean, these guys need a chance. This Rooney Rule, all that says is you have to interview him. It doesn't mean you have to give him a chance. And I love the rule, but I think these guys, these owners are set in their ways. I think the owners are they're all of a certain age, things like that. I think it's an uphill battle for African-American coaches.
But it shouldn't be. That's the issue.
Right, it shouldn't be, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's an uphill battle, and it shouldn't be. This guy's qualified. This guy's qualified.
Yeah. Why does it make a difference? Right.
It's almost one of those things. Who cares? Don't interview him. Look at the resume. What does the resume say? It doesn't matter the name. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. But I don't know if Jerod Mayo gets a head coaching job before Bieniemy or some of these other guys. I'd be shocked.
What happens if Kellen Moore gets one before any of these guys? Then we really have a problem, right? I mean,
I'm not shocked there because he's a homegrown Dallas guy, and somehow he's going to get.
That would be Jerry Jones.
He's going to get a vote of confidence behind Jerry Jones and somebody else, and someone's going to take a gamble on him. I mean, let's be honest.
Well,
if I'm Jerry Jones, though, I'm hiring Eric Bieniemy.
That's exactly, dude. I'll hire Dan Quinn or Eric Bieniemy. I'm telling you, I'll get rid of my McCarthy right now.
Look at what's his name from Detroit that got fired last year.
Jim Caldwell,
Matt Patricia.
I mean, everyone was all over him. Joe Judge, all these guys. Why were they so hot? They weren't hot candidates, but why did they get hired? Where did they come from?
Bill Belichick tree.
That's the thing. Some of these people get these nods, and I'm afraid that Jerod Mayo. I'm afraid he's going to get a job that he's not suited for, and that's going to look bad. Like some of these other guys that get a job for 1 year, maybe 2, and he's a person of color, and he's going to get a job because he comes from that tree, and he's not ready for that full position, and it's going to look bad, even though it looks good. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, I think it's still wait and see. I think we have a lot of vacancies open this year. We might have a couple more before the playoffs. I don't know.
I think there might be at least one more, maybe 2.
So I guess we'll see. There's a lot of prime candidates. Brian Leftwich, I think he's going to be a head coach somewhere. The enemy better be a head coach somewhere. Like you said, Flores is going to get another head coaching job.
Yep.
So Coley, I think Coley should get another coaching job. What he did with that Houston Texan team this year, winning 4 games, and they fought for him. I mean, they were in a lot of games.
What he did with Davis Mills.
Exactly what he did. But I guess we'll wait and see. I guess we can come back to this topic after the Super Bowl and see what happens. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have for y'all tonight. Get out of here on an early note. I want to thank Freddie and Jonathan and ASAP gang for letting us come on. I feel like I'm back home. Y'all doing great things over here. Thanks for letting us bring our show over here. It'll be better next week. We've been on a hiatus for the holidays and stuff, and yeah, it's kind of rough. But we're back, Jonathan. I'm glad you're back with us. When we come to ASAP, I'm like, I need Jonathan on this show. I need Jonathan. He's my boy. I need him. Freddie always coming in. He's gonna jump in every time. He's gonna. Yeah, we're gonna talk late. We'll get to basketball after the football season, Freddie. Okay, we'll get there.
Let's go. Basketball.
So thank you all again for letting us have. This has been, even though it says Sweep the League up there, we're a project of Sweep the League Radio. We're actually called Varsity Sports now. You can find us on ASAP. Also, you can find us on Twitter. There's our handles right there. Coach Gio, a regular on it. I guess he found a Tinder date or something. He ain't here, but hopefully he comes back and has a happy story for us, whatever the case may be. But appreciate ASAP for letting us come on. We had a blast, and we'll see y'all next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. And don't forget, I think I'm going to have a big announcement. Another show coming to the ASAP Network, baby. Discussions on place. It could be happening. For Freddie, for Will, for Jonathan, and Trey. Thank y'all. See y'all next week. Peace.
Yes.
Peace.